Back at the beginning of May, USA Today released their 10 best roller coasters in the United States. As the article says, the editors and readers independently select what you see on the ranking. Every year when this 10 best article is republished, I cringe as I see some of the best roller coasters in the country buried near the bottom of the list or get completely omitted altogether, while overhyped nostalgia picks find themselves sitting up at the top. Normally, I wouldn't bat an eye at these types of ranking because it's always skewed by either campaigns that theme parks promote, trying to push their attraction to the top of the list, or spam by fanboys simping their favorite roller coaster. However, theme parks actually take pride in this ranking and will happily display the results on their websites, social media sites, or whatnot if their roller coaster makes the cut. Well, I thought it would be fun to take this article and provide you how I would rank these roller coasters. But before we get to this list, do me a favor and hit the like button to help me out with that YouTube algorithm, and newcomers to my channel, if you love roller coasters, you need to subscribe. Alright, starting in number 10, we have Pantheon, located at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Talk about being underrated. Pantheon is an excellent multi-launching roller coaster that has a crazy swing launch that only gets more intense with each pass. This may be the star moment of the ride, but there's still plenty of other great moments left to talk about. That slow corkscrew after the first launch will provide some nice hang time. Those riding in the back row will enjoy the ejector airtime as you crest the giant top hat. The zero-G stall is also another decent inversion that ends with a nice head chopper moment as you pierce through that top hat structure. As for my ranking, I put Pantheon all the way up into 4th place. This is definitely a roller coaster you shouldn't be sleeping on. Number 9, Iron Gwazi, located at Busch Gardens, Tampa. If you thought that last roller coaster was underrated, well, let me introduce you to Iron Gwazi, arguably the most intense roller coaster on this list. The last time I rode this roller coaster, I grayed out 3 times, something that I can't say about any other thrill machine on this list. Designed by Rocky Mountain Construction, the old Gwazi wooden roller coaster was Frankensteined into what I would consider the second best RMC in the United States, with the first not even being found on this list, which is kinda shocking. But anyways, the pacing is impeccable, flowing from element to element. The ride never really gives you a breather until you are back sitting on the brake run. The first 2/3 of this ride is where this coaster really shines, from Outer Bank turns, wave turns, and the famous death roll. Iron Gwazi has so much variety to keep you coming back for more. It's a real pity that this coaster got demoted so low on this list because I would have it sitting all the way up in 2nd place. Maybe next year more people will get on this ride and realize that it deserves so much more than 9th place. Number 8, Fury 325, located at Carowinds. Well, you know I'm going to rank this one pretty high because it was my favorite roller coaster for about a year. This massive giga coaster by B&M features one of the best first drops on any coaster. The airtime is amazing and the drop feels like it lasts forever. The crazy high speeds as you fly through the rest of the course, performing over bank turns, airtime hills, and helixes, and of course, the most famous element of the ride, the treble clef. This is a turnaround maneuver that provides some incredible sideways airtime before pulling out of the element and diving down into a tunnel. It's possible that this coaster got knocked down in ranking because of the drama that surrounded Fury last year when one of the supports fractured. Anyways, this is my number 1 pick on this list. Call me a B&M fanboy, but I just can't get enough of this giga coaster. Number 7, the Voyage, located at Holiday World. Finally, one coaster that we all agree on, because this wooden roller coaster is also my number 7 pick. I know some will be upset that Voyage didn't make its way higher up in this ranking, but just give it time and I have a feeling that this coaster will continue to work its way up near the top. My one and only ride was back in 2020, so I think it's about time I scored a few more rides to give this coaster an honest review. Number 6, Giant Dipper, located at Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The only coaster on this list that I've yet to ride. However, even with that said, I couldn't imagine that Giant Dipper is better than any of the other coasters I've already mentioned. In fact, I don't think it will be better than any I've yet to mention, which is why I'm putting Giant Dipper all the way in last place. It may be a better coaster than what I'm giving it credit for, but for now, it's sitting at the back of the train. Number 5, Lightning Rod, located at Dollywood. This roller coaster has gone through a few transformations. First, it opened to the public as the only launching wooden roller coaster. Lightning Rod was able to hold on to this gimmick all the way through 2023 until the park and Rocky Mountain construction had enough of the technical issues that came about, so they transformed it into a traditional roller coaster with a chain lift. The manufacturer, before converting the ride, did one last ditch effort before replacing a good chunk of the wooden track with their iron track, providing a smoother ride experience. But that didn't help the overall reliability of the coaster. I haven't been on Lightning Rod since the conversion, but judging from my ride last year, I have this coaster ranked down at 8th place. After being on so many RMCs, it's hard to find all the positives that this coaster once had. The quad down finale is still the best part of the ride, but the first half isn't as good as it was back in the early years of this coaster. One could hope that maybe one day Dollywood will revive the launch, but if you ask me, this coaster is just one more snafu from being completely obliterated. Number 4, Wildcat's Revenge, located at Hershey Park. The newest roller coaster on this list, Wildcat's Revenge, is another RMC conversion, taking the old Wildcat coaster and turning it into one of the best coasters in the park. The ride may not be as tall or crazy as Iron Gwazi, but it can still hold its own with great pacing, excellent airtime, and incredible operations. The ride functions with a loading and unloading station, which helps them speed up dispatches, sending more trains every hour. My personal ranking for Wildcat's Revenge is going to be 5th place. This is a solid roller coaster that I'm happy it's getting some recognition it deserves. Number 3, Phantom's Revenge, located at Kennywood Park. Traveling over to my home park, Phantom's Revenge is a nostalgia favorite that still has all the right elements. The coaster has a unique layout that uses the terrain to pull off some crazy drops and high speeds. Airtime lovers will enjoy the finale as it sends you through multiple bunny hills before flying onto the brake run. As for my personal ranking, I have this coaster in 6th place. I might be underselling Phantom, but that also might be because I've ridden this coaster more than any other on this list. Phantom's Revenge manages to make its way onto the USA Today TenBest ranking every year, and I think it's rightfully so. Even though I put it at number 6, this is still a solid roller coaster that is a must-ride during every visit to Kennywood. Number 2, Mako, located at SeaWorld Orlando. My favorite hypercoaster, and it's not even close. I love every moment of this ride. This is an airtime machine. Every hill, every drop is loaded with great floater airtime that will have you flying out of your seat. Normally, I head right to the back row on hypercoasters, but Mako has me checking out that front row from time to time. This is a well-rounded roller coaster that I rank in 3rd place. I have a feeling that some won't agree with this ranking, but as I said earlier, I am a B&M fanboy, and Mako is their best hypercoaster. Number 1, Phoenix, located at Knoebels. First, we talked about underrated roller coasters. Well, let me introduce you to the most overrated roller coaster on the planet. Phoenix manages to find itself sitting at the top of many of these awards and rankings, which is so puzzling to me. Sure, it's a fun roller coaster that has lots of great airtime, and who's not a fan of those crazy buzz bars? However, to say that this coaster is better than basically every other coaster on this list is truly bizarre. I'm sure Phoenix is better than Giant Dipper, which is why I have it ranked at number 9, but having it at the number 1 slot is always dumbfounding. If nostalgia ever played a part in this ranking, well, you can find it all right here in the number 1 slot. Well, that's USA Today's top 10 best roller coasters. Which one do you think that they got right, or I got wrong? Tell me down in the comments. Maybe next year they'll recognize some other great roller coasters like Velocicoaster over at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. There is, of course, the only extreme spinning coaster, Time Traveler, at Silver Dollar City that should have been on this list as well. Also, not a single roller coaster from Cedar Point made the cut, which might even be considered a war crime. Anyways, until next time, this is X Scream Thrills.